So during this psychedelic experience, the individuals will undergo many significant shifts in perceptions, cognitions, emotions, sensory experiences. I'm always amazed when I hear what they go through in those experiences. Their whole being, their whole consciousness is going to definitely be altered, and this is the intention of any psychedelic drug. However, there is something very important about this. All these experiences are going to occur in the infusion room. If left that way, it can be really an isolated experience. So the individual may leave the session with very rich insights that could be put together, that could bring a whole different meaning into their lives. So this is when the work of the therapist comes here. The therapist is a catalyst that is going to bring together, is going to help them to put together and to call attention to insights, to call attention to memories, or to situations that happened in that room. It's like when you're like driving that you cannot see, you have a blind spot, and the therapist will be able to see it. Remember that the therapist plays a very important role, as important as the infusion itself. Both are what is need to be put together to help someone with depression. It's very important for the therapist to create a safe and supportive environment for the individual. You're going to be amazed, even when the individual says nothing happened. It's not uncommon for some of the sessions for them to say nothing happened. And then you begin talking, and then you discover it is through the conversation that new insights will emerge. It's the conversation between the patient or the client and the therapist that will help. The therapist will help the individual, is going to provide emotional support. The psychotherapist is going to develop coping strategies. Now, this is very important. Integration is not just like interpret what was happening and okay, goodbye. No, is how are you going to cope from now on? What are you going to do with your life? You give them the tools to move on and apply in the future. Hopefully, like a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, they're still going to be using the tools. And finally, to set, and this is very important, it happens in the very last session, to set their intentions. What do you want to do with all those experiences?